G'day. Welcome back. Friends, family, one and all. It is the Armchair Advisors. We are coming to you for round 12 of the AFL season 2022, in which we'll be presenting all of our best bets, tips, predictions, and analysis for this upcoming batch of games. I am Rich of the Armchair Advisors, and joining me in the studio is Sensible Dan. Sensible Dan is a nerd, but is considered a pimp within the nerd community. He first saw boobs at the age of 5 when he typed 58,008 into a calculator and turned it upside down. Dan, welcome. It's good to have you.
Thanks, mate. It's good to be here. Obviously, it's been downhill in my life since that moment. But I still remember that day fondly, and we'll channel that energy into tonight's show.
And man's loved numbers ever since.
Absolutely.
Numbers, stats.
Again, though, there's nothing better than that number in particular.
Oh,
58,005, the best number. Unequivocally.
Indeed. And joining us, of course, is our global field correspondent, Desmond Van Bus. Desmond considers himself an aficionado of global cultures, in that he's watched Crazy Rich Asians once and regularly searches for big, wet, ebony booties on Pornhub. Desmond, how are you?
I can't even, and I'm just thinking, I cannot
I bet
even,
you are. Yeah.
Thinking about other things. I can't even count to 58,001. How much was
One
it?
as well.
How much was it?
You were 7 off. Yeah, 58,008.
Yeah, well, I probably wouldn't even be up.
And 58,001 spells IOOBs.
Yeah, true.
So you are, as Desmond does, an idiot.
Hey, look, people like what they like. Well, you've never done that on a calculator?
Of course.
Well,
Not me. I've just made other people. And I've just enjoyed the fruits of their labours.
jeez, no fruits there, no labours either. But I tell you what we do have. We have got 6 big games ahead. It is the first of 3 scheduled bye rounds across this AFL season. Only 6 games, boys, but that doesn't mean that the analysis stops. That doesn't mean that the bets stop coming in the door. We are here to tear into it, so why don't we get it started with possibly game of the round already on your Friday night.
We start strong and end strong.
And there's a whole lot of fluff in the middle.
Nougat.
I am, of course, talking nougat. I love that. Well, I am, of course, talking about the Western Bulldogs facing off against the Geelong Cats Friday night at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to break with tradition, swing it over to Desi. What do you like here, Des?
Doggies, bark, 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 as Bev likes to say. I personally don't like to say that because I'm not a bumbling idiot. Nah, lol jokes. I'm just going to
Go on.
Well, this is actually groundbreaking news for Rich and I. You are a bumbling idiot. That's why we hired you.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, this is not a controversial opinion, but doggies looked good last week. They look fantastic, but they also look good against North Melbourne.
That would be true if they played North Melbourne.
Was it not North Melbourne? Who'd they play?
Last week?
West Coast.
Yes.
Yeah, West Coast. Do you know what? West Coast, North Melbourne. It's the West Coast.
I'm
Kangaroos.
not a bumbling idiot.
No.
It's the West Coast Kangaroos to me because anytime I see that, my brain switches off and it's just a bye week because they have the brain capacity
They're the same team.
as me.
They're the same team.
They realistically are, yeah.
Like, do you know, I don't even realise it's just a bye week for the next team. But every time the Cats play in these big games, they've been losing.
Ooh.
Doggies, a very form-driven team. And obviously, they're in some pretty good form because they just beat up a C grade level.
I think
Do you get what I mean?
His last 2 points.
You're catching what I'm putting out there?
It was kind of like, when Indiana Jones going across like a rickety wooden bridge,
yes.
And you're like, he's not going to make it.
He makes it.
It. But then he makes it to the end, you're like, yeah.
And Doggy's going to slap him up, I reckon. I reckon they'll win by probably about 25 points.
On the dot. I like
25
that.
points.
No, I don't mind
on the
that.
dot.
On the dot.
You're going to be putting that in a tipping comp this week?
Nah.
Good,
No,
very strong.
He shot from the hip, and I didn't mind any of it, Desi. Good opener from you. Dan, what do you reckon?
Look, I also like the Dogs in this game. It was a really, really nice game for Tim English to come back in and just absolutely dominate. Mm-hmm. He looked like he'd not missed 5 weeks at all.
No.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you play against shadows.
Well,
But he could have looked a little bit rusty. Could have looked a bit lagging in fitness.
it's a big oval as well.
Not even close. Just absolutely ran it out strong. Cats obviously got pushed early by the Crows. Crows should have been in front, to be completely honest with you. I think the first 4, 5, 6 scoring shots of the game.
Correct.
All behinds. Second week in a row the Crows have done that. Cats obviously got on top later on in the game. Tom Stewart, unbelievable.
Oh.
I mean, when teams are literally chip kicking it to you from 20 metres away, it's going to make your day pretty easy. But,
yes.
I mean, he's just a freak, absolute freak. Dogs have to make him accountable this week. You've got to put someone on him to quell that influence. But I'm going to tip the Dogs 1-39.
So you're looking at a lockdown forward on Tommy Stewart.
Why not?
Who?
Ja.
I was thinking that.
Get Ergal Hagan in. Why not?
We kicked, 6 in the VFL?
Well, it doesn't even matter. He can't kick goals at AFL level.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Get him to lock down Tommy Stewart. Just a run with roll.
I'd put Johansson on him.
If I'm either or, if I'm Bevo, I don't care if you kick goals. I just don't want Tom Stewart having 40 touches this week.
It makes a lot of sense. I don't think they'll do it, though, because no one cares about Tom Stewart.
No.
No one cares about Tom Stewart. He's going to be the Cats' next captain.
Yeah.
No one cares about... It's like...
Most underrated player in the AFL. It's only just now people are starting to think, holy crap, this guy's actually not bad, eh?
Yeah, that's the actual
It's
phrase.
unreal. If I was Bevo this week, that's exactly what I'd be doing. I'd be making him accountable. If you're going to have 30 touches, you are going to earn at least 28 of them.
I don't think it's
a couple of little slutty ones we'll just let bygones be bygones.
I would have thought, but it's you know what it's like. Bevo's not the type to do that. He'll back the structure in, and you can sort of understand why. I genuinely think both teams are due a loss here. You know what I mean? In terms of like their typical peaks and troughs, the Dogs have now won the last, I think, 3 in a row or something along those lines, somewhere in there. Right? They're now due to come right back down to earth in a screaming heap. But equally, the Cats have now notched up enough wins that all of a sudden I was like, hey, these guys are in premiership calculations. Boy, they look good, don't they? And this is exactly the sort of game they'll go and drop. I personally do think they will drop this. It's interesting. Geelong have got the best winning percentage of any team in the league at Marvel Stadium.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
And they've won 3 out of the last 4 against the Dogs.
Interesting.
Doggies don't tend to come out and beat teams, or beat jobbers, we'll say, in the wrestling terms, by 100 points plus, and then come out the next week and look bad. It's when they have those close games, they come out and they look average, which is why I'm pretty strong on the Dogs. I'm pretty strong. I don't know what the odds are, but
it's near as damn it parity. It was like $1.80 to 2.05 or something like that when I saw it.
And Dogs should be the slight favourite. But I think they're going to do it. I feel it in the old Desticles, mate.
The Cats midfield got beaten by
harm you
by the Crows midfield.
Exactly. Yes.
And the Dogs midfield is markedly better than the Crows. Crows midfield battlers. Dogs midfield elite. That's where the game's won and lost here, and I could see the Dogs dominating that area and therefore winning the game.
That is just near as damn it what I had written down in my notes as well.
I can't read, so.
And that's okay, Des. Not everyone's good at everything, and that's fine. You've got your skills, others have got others. That's fine.
Can you list them?
So Geelong, they were pushed by the Crows last week.
Haikus.
It concerns me. They were pushed. You can't fade in and fade out against this Dogs unit, even when they're playing low. So look, Dogs 1-39 for mine. But would you be surprised if it went either way? No. I'm expecting a good game.
I'm actually surprised all 3 of us have gone Dogs. To be completely honest,
I love it.
It's a close game, but it's a close run game.
Close run game is a good game. Let us now go to a not so very good game.
What about bets though?
Oh, crumbs! Thank you, Dan. Much obliged. This is why he's on the show. We need the bets. We need the bets. We can't race through. We've got to have the bets.
That is the structure that this show is based on.
Yeah.
The analysis is why people come. The bets is why they stay.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And the chaos is why they like and subscribe.
Oh, he's done well there.
That was great.
He's done well there. Nice from you,
Nice
Des. Dan, please.
I've got Josh Dunkley for a goal. $1.48.
What, did he have 2 last week?
Would you believe he's kicked 1 in the last 5 games?
Every time I watched him play, he's kicked the goal. Yeah,
and he kicked 2 last week.
I always have him for touches, but then he kicks goals.
He does both. Josh Dunkley is an elite footballer, but he spends a lot of time forward nowadays because of Baz Smith, etc. $1.48, great value. Zach Tui, 20 plus disposals, done it in his last 5 straight. That's $1.44.
How many?
20 plus.
I like that.
There's a lot of value in this game, and I reckon you're going to say the same here for my last one. Edward Richards. For 30, for 15 plus disposals, $1.35.
I'm very pleased and proud to say that I bought that onto the show last week, and he got, I think, 16. And I was very happy because he was paying a fair whack for that. I've actually, I think we've been working off the same hymn sheet this week, big man. I did have Ed Richards, and I didn't have Dunkley. There you go. Obviously, I had Ed, definitely. Joel Selwood for 20 plus.
Good.
Just about put the house on it at this point. He's
the only one doing anything.
He's still the Cats' best midfielder.
And what an indictment that is, dearie me. Tatkins. And who could forget dear Tat Boy in the Geelong's back line there for 15 disposals, just turning himself into a 2016 version of Tom Stewart. I'm real happy about that.
To quote the Raven, never 14.
Always 16, always. The man himself, Tom Stewart, for 25, because I don't think you go from 40 to 16 in a week. That's just not going to happen. He's too reliable for that. Baz Smith for 25 and Tim English for 20.
I said that last week.
You did, and it came off. And
Easy.
that's paying about $1.83 this
And guess
week.
who he's playing this week again?
Exactly.
No Ruckman.
Correct answer.
They did say Reece Stanley will come potentially back into the team.
It doesn't matter.
That's actually worse than Mark Blitzarv. So I would tip English for a bigger day.
Don't rush him. But $1.83 for 20 for Tinglish. Yum, 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 yum. Let us move it on to the Adelaide Oval, fellas. The Adelaide Oval sees the Adelaide Crows hosting the West Coast Eagles on your Saturday afternoon. Boys, interestingly, no McGovern, I believe, this week.
Yes.
Which means that the Crows' time-honoured tradition of just bombing the living shit out of it as high and as long as they can into the forward
It's going
line
to be fine.
and hoping Elliot Himmelberg takes a mark is probably going to pay off for him.
Might do.
Might do.
If we lose this, I'll be genuinely...
Thilthorpe, Tex, they'll be on.
I think Tex will be on. We'll return to that in terms
Chase Jones will be.
Chase Jones won't be playing, let alone on. I mean...
Did you see people were angry that he got relegated to sub last week?
Yes.
I don't know. That tells you all you need to know about the state
It's
of the
because
Crows
he's number
team.
one. It's because he's number one. That's what I got the...
Look, Chase Jones has been much more serviceable in a halfback role than he has been anywhere else on the ground. But I was not angry.
No.
I was certainly not incensed by it.
No, needs a spell.
Look, Crows, I thought they were pretty competitive last week. Overall, 42-point loss. You might not think so. Most of that damage was done in the back end of the game. It's just poor kicking. 20 scoring shots.
We were like that against the Saints as well.
And they only managed to score 7 goals.
And
8 goals.
18th for accuracy in the league over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's not good. But again, I thought there's some players there that are finding their feet. Sam Berry was good again.
Yep.
Jake Saligo was handy. Jackson Haley, wow. Another massive game.
Is that his PB, 27?
Yes.
Another
massive game.
We love to see that.
And even Rob, absolutely monstrous game from the big man.
Got real mad.
He took that demotion personally.
Good.
And I really like to see that. I thought the coaching, again, surrounding Stewart, terrible. Just terrible. I thought at halftime, Stewart had about 21 touches. All right, fair enough. Let's make him accountable in the second half. He had 3 disposals in the first 12 seconds of the third quarter.
Bit grim.
You can't let him run free like that. You got to do something.
We're backing our structure.
Yeah, don't like it. And Eagles, less said the better.
Oh, I don't mind that from you. What do you reckon?
I just think it's Adelaide's game to lose. It's Adelaide's game to lose, and they are the team to lose it. But I'm not tipping West Coast.
No.
Like we are like realistically, we are the team that are going to be at their home on the home deck. Eagles come out, the worst Eagles team we've probably ever seen in the history of the Eagles.
It's encroaching on worst team we've ever seen in the AFL.
Potentially the worst team
territory
we've ever seen.
now.
And
all the AFL
looks
media has jumped on it this week saying, what about this effort from the West Coast Eagles? Is it time we started realising that they're actually shit? Probably would have been time to realise that maybe, I don't know, 12 months ago when they were shit.
You understand what I'm saying.
Or 24 months ago during COVID when they gave up the season.
Couldn't travel, got cried.
Travel.
Yeah, no, they were crying. Yeah, whinging and that.
So Crows getting up here. Crows getting up. And I think they're going to get up in I'm not going to say a big way. I'm going to say 25 plus. 25 plus. Just a safe way because I do want them to win and I want them to smash them. And there's a potential to smash them, but they've got to kick straight. There's a lot of intangibles that I'm not willing to put out to our listeners. A lot of intangibles, meaning the entire game. So we just have to go out and do it.
This strikes me as the danger game for the Crows.
It does.
This strikes me as a genuine danger game because.
But are we saying that because we're supporters and we don't want to lose to West Coast? Or
No,
do you know what I mean?
I'm a GWS fan. Still Matthew Nicks, but you know.
I'm saying this because it just is a genuine danger game for the Crows.
It
just strikes me as the perfect game for them to lose.
Consider, Des, that the bookies are giving West Coast a chance in that they're not at odds starting with a 1. Okay, this week they're actually into $6 odds. Okay, that's chance according to the bookies.
Chuck Crows in your multi.
Number 2, every man and his dog is now not just saying, "Oh, it's unfortunate about West Coast," as Dan said. Now they're saying West Coast shit, right? Okay, which would be making the Crows think, "Gee whiz, we've got this in the bag. We're at home. We've been playing tough teams on the road recently. Now we're at home. Hey boys, how good is this going to be? We're going to win this one easy. We're going to win this one easy. It is time for a layup."
Think about how they looked against St Kilda, and if they kick straight, they would have beaten a team like St Kilda. That was only 2 weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago.
They came out for that game ready to play though because they weren't favoured by anyone. Now it's just like easy win. West Coast are so bad.
I just think
no chance we lose this one.
The Burgess effect says otherwise. I reckon. I think the Burgess effect says otherwise.
You make a good point.
Imagine the spray they're going to get, not by him, but imagine the spray they're going to get by a team, high performance man, Darren Burgess, and they don't even run out the first half against West Coast.
Can I also tell you that West Coast have the best winning record of any team at Adelaide Oval? With
They always beat us. They always do.
9 wins from 12 starts. So there you go.
And they do thump us. But that was, as we've said, this is the worst West Coast team, potentially the worst AFL team in the history of the...
Humongous call.
Since university.
Humongous call. Not bad, that. Not bad. I will back you in when you're tipping the Crows to win 1-39. I will go them as well. If they show that sort of fight that they did against Geelong and St Kilda in patches, it should be enough to get over the top of the Eagles. They'll win by like 25 points. It won't be good, but it'll be a win.
So I'll take that as at this point. That's
Wins
fine. Wins are wins.
Yeah. West Coast, though. Tim Kelly's going all right.
38 disposals and a goal last week.
That's not bad at all.
Brady Hoff.
Brady Hoff was very nice.
Very nice.
With a little Palin Witherden back there.
Name. That's cool. That's a wrestler's name.
Brady Hoff.
It's a tag team wrestler's name.
Actually, the Hoff. He's the Hoff.
It's a jobber's name.
A tag team wrestler.
No, a jobber's name is Jack Darley.
Brady Hoff could tag with Billy Gunn's kid.
Let us move on to some bets, please, gents. I've got your boy, Jack O'Haley, for 20 disposals. Thank you. I've also got Witherden and Riley O'Brien to join him with 20 disposals apiece. Riley O'Brien was paying about $1.83, something dumb like that. Yeah, no, I'm up on the Ratman this week. Rory Laird to do Rory Laird tings and have 30. Ben Keys to do Ben Keys tings and have 25. I also don't mind Jimmy Rowe to have 15. Now, he's had 15 touches in, I think, 4 of his last 6 games.
He's a link man.
He is a link man.
He's just smack with his mullet. That's a handball.
Well, think about, like, if the Crows do indeed just win it straight out of the centre, it's win a tap, win a clearance, kick into the forward line. It's going to be in his area. So if you think 15, he had 19 last week, so you should get it done. And Tex Walker, all this chat about contracts and Crows, come to the table. I think all of this chat about, other clubs. And so I agree with Kane. I think all of the chat about other clubs pursuing him, I think was cooked up by Tex. He's going to come out today, or this weekend rather. He's going to help himself with 3 goals, 3.
He's found out. He'll be angry.
3 goals, 3, and just remind everyone that he's the Crows' best forward. So, you can have all of them. 6 legs, you can put them all together if you want. If you do, it's paying north of $10.
I had Jack Redden for 20 plus disposals because he always gets his 20 no matter what's going on at West Coast. $1.38. Riley Thilthorpe for a goal.
Okay.
That's $1.28.
Chilly Philly.
With no McGovern.
No, McGovern.
Big man.
Hopefully he has a big
man
game.
teams.
It'll be good for him. It'll be good for him to beat up. That's what jobbers are for.
Well, and Fogg.
For young fellas. Yeah, but Thilthorpe's got much more potential than... Thilthorpe's got an A+ potential and Fogg's an E-.
Fogg is... real thin lines.
You get what I mean? Like
thin lines.
Yeah, you bring in jobbers to get beat up by Riley Thilthorpe.
And the last one they had was Josh Kennedy for 2+ goals.
Nice. Yeah, I'd have thought. Yeah.
That's $2.12 at the moment.
So young Crows back on.
I think this is a perfect game for him to jag a bag.
Big forwards always come and kick goals.
He's still capable. He's still capable of doing it. Crows are 15th in the competition for goals against by key forwards. So
there's a stat. That's the man. That's why we pay him the big money. That's why we pay him the big money.
212 is very good.
212 is good, and it's a young Crows backline. They're going to bleed. Alrighty, boys. 2 down, 4 to go. I thought it's bye round.
Oh, I was excited.
No, I
felt the tingle.
No, you can hold your tingle. It's bye rounds this week. Things are a little bit different. I thought we'd do things a bit differently. I've jettisoned Dummy of the Week. I don't have a lot to say, apart from Lee Matthews reckoning that Charlie Curnow was looking like Buddy 2.0.
Of course he is.
When you're the GOAT, you can say that.
Yeah, but I also haven't seen...
That would be great if Lee Matthews was the GOAT.
Yeah, a bit of that. I've never seen Charlie Curnow grab the ball centre wing, bounds down the wing, bouncing it, and then kick a goal from 55 out on his left, in the left-hand pocket. I haven't seen that yet.
Being chased by one ugly Josh Jenkins.
I haven't seen him
who was putting everything into that run.
I haven't seen Charlie Curnow play for an entire year.
Both.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
You haven't seen him play for an entire year yet.
No, good. On your lead. No, we're not doing Dummy. I'm doing a little segment because there's all this chat about Taylor Walker and all these other blokes whose names have been cropping up lately. So I thought I'd do a little segment. I'm going to throw it out to you boys. I'm calling it, I don't have a clever name for it. Couldn't be bothered. I'm calling it Trade or Hold. Okay, so I'm going to go through one player for every club.
On your bike.
And let's say
there's your name.
No, you're the list manager for all of these clubs individually. And I'm going to ask you, would you trade him or hold him? All right? Beautiful. Sure. First up, Adelaide, Taylor Walker.
That's a tough one. It is actually a tough one. I knew you were going to ask this one straight off the bat.
But I've got the brain of I like American sports in the way that everyone.
I thought he was going to say Goldfish.
Everyone is disposable. So you look at people you look at Golden State, the team that they have won because they're obviously in the finals right now. Game 1 hasn't started yet, so don't comment if they're getting whooped because I don't know if they're going to win or not.
Disclaimer. Yeah.
But Stephen Clay and Draymond are the 3. Everyone else was dispensable. Everyone else is gone. They've got a whole new crop. So, and American teams, that's real unlikely. They just get rid of their players and we start fresh.
So you're saying Walker is not a Steph or a Dre or a Green?
No, if we can get something for him, if we can get something good for him, if we can get a first or a couple of seconds in a young player, do it. Trade him.
I would tend to agree, even though I actually might be in the minority. Taylor Walker is definitely one of the Crows' best ever players.
Yes.
Absolutely, well and truly, no doubts about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think a trade at this point would be best for all parties if Tex would agree to it.
Yep.
Tex gets a shot at a deserved premiership.
Yep.
Not that we've said it on the show. I don't think anyone deserves anything, but he deserves a shot at another premiership.
So you trade him?
I would.
He's earned the right.
And look, he's not going to be part of the next Crows premiership till.
If he says, I want to play one more year, and I want to go to Collingwood, and Collingwood are like, all right, well, here's pick 27, and
yeah, I'm with you. Yeah,
you know
stay
what
nice.
I mean?
Stay
Like,
nice.
oh,
Yeah.
I'll go. You know what? You want to go there, Tex? Yeah, same like what you're saying. How do you feel about playing at the Pies?
Well, he to me, no one's mentioned it. I actually think he'd be a perfect fit at the Demons.
Interesting.
They have a rotating roster of Ben Brown, Sam Wiedemann, Tom McDonald. None of them light the world on fire.
No.
Tex there would be a walk-up start.
So Jack Riewoldt out, Tex Walker in.
Done.
Imagine. All right, let's move it on. Brisbane, Dan McStay.
Well, he's going to walk anyway, but I'll trade him.
You would?
Yep.
Okay.
Hipwood and Danaher are fine.
I was
Both
going to
young
say
enough.
there's already better people.
Easy one.
Like it. Easy one. Carlton. Will Setterfield.
Trade. Can't even get in the team.
There you go.
Agree.
Don't care to have him for depth?
No.
No, lovely. Collingwood. Jordan De Goey.
Well,
Nah, that's
gone.
tough.
See you later. Gone. Is it? Oh, well, because you're not going to pay him, are you? So trade him. May as well get value for it. Don't just let him walk for nothing.
I was
worth?
having a chinwag about this
not 800K
with a couple of
if
blokes
someone's gonna
tonight,
pay for him.
and that's the problem. What do you pay him? Like, to another team, he's probably worth more than Collingwood because they haven't had to deal with all the crap.
But you can't trade him, can you? Can you sign it? You can't sign and trade. It's not NBA. I don't know how AFL trades work. Like, I'm purely NBA trades.
It would
that's
be
all I know.
dependent on whether he's
And
a
the draft is
restricted or
broken.
an unrestricted free agent.
Let's say he's 1 year into a 4-year deal.
Well, you trade him.
Would you
get
trade
rid
him?
of it. You got to.
And if so,
you can't
what's-
afford to have him.
What's he worth? A first?
I would
Two firsts?
If he was
A first.
if he was 1 year into a 4 year, no.
Yep.
If he was 3 years into a 4 year, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I with 1 year left. I mean, 1 year. You mean 1 year left into his deal?
No, I said what you're 1 year into a new deal.
You'd struggle to get a first for him. You'd get a couple of seconds, I reckon. AFL draft's broken.
I'll agree with you on that one.
That's not part of the question, but yes,
Also
it is.
true.
That's what I mean.
So,
So-
fundamentally, you trade De Goey?
I would trade. Yeah, it's not worth it.
No, that's so
He's
hard.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm
He's
doing
not.
this.
He's not worth the money. He's not worth the money.
Nah,
though.
well, the thing is,
You pay him and then you can't pay others.
in the last 3 years, there's 4 players in the AFL who are averaging 20 disposals and a goal a game, and he's one of them.
There you go.
The others are Marcus Bontempelli, Christian Petrarca, Dustin Martin.
and how
Like,
much of an
those
impact
guys
do they
are,
have in a game, though? And how much of an impact does De Goey have?
It's an excellent point.
and that's the thing. But if you just look at purely statistics, he is worth it. I wouldn't do it. I'd
Yeah, but
probably trade him.
champion data doesn't win the flag every year. That's what that's my point. See you later.
Champion
De Goey.
data said Mason Cox was an elite AFL player.
And then Nick
so-
Nat was best in the league. I'd personally look at trading him if you were going to commit to the rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
If you reckon you can get away with only doing a partial, and get rid of a few scrubs and get in a few young
I
kids,
think
and
his
that's
contract
enough.
would just be too big.
But if you think that's enough
I think at the moment you'd get probably a first, maybe even 2 first rounders for him if you
If you can get
hard
like
enough.
pick 18 and 20.
North Melbourne would give up
Done.
the world for him.
yeah, but that's not saying a lot.
No. Anyway, move on.
Essendon.
Trade.
Essendon, Jake Stringer.
You-
You couldn't trade him, so you got to keep him.
Why couldn't you trade him? I'm asking you. You're the list manager. Would you trade Jake Stringer?
I would
no,
trade him.
you'd keep him. I think you can. I think it's pretty evident that they miss him.
I agree.
I think it's pretty evident that they miss him dearly.
What's his contract? It depends on his contract. I'm going to say trade to everyone.
Yeah, this is what
Why
worries
not?
me.
Why not?
Yeah, what can you get?
Absolute mayhem at the trade table. I love it.
Well, I feel like we don't
I'd
trade
keep-
enough.
Desmond Dodoro.
I feel
over
like we
here.
don't move around enough. Like I like the move around.
If Desmond was Dodora, he'd say keep to everyone. Unless you're giving us 8 first rounders.
Unless you
for
say
Dan
Gold
McStay.
Coast Chol, then you got to keep him.
I'm glad I know that was coming.
I'd keep Jake Stringer.
I would keep.
They need him desperately. That midfield is so
They're
later.
missing
They
that.
suck.
They're missing any sort of dynamism in their midfield.
If they said
man.
we'll give you a first and a second for Stringer, I'd do it.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
You need
could
the
do a bit with
picks.
that.
Like Bombers have nothing. They're useless. Like you need to try and get some.
You
young
could do
player.
a bit with the first and a second.
you wouldn't get your value on Jake Stringer though.
Oh,
For them,
I think you're right, and I think you're right. Let's roll on. Fremantle, Nat 5.
no.
Nah, keep him.
Yep. They've come this far.
They're right in a premiership window.
Keep him.
You don't trade your best player
Oh, best player.
in the premiership window. You
Interesting.
do it for the Crows.
Keep him.
Do you think he's their best player?
Taylor, they're not in the window.
At this
Crows aren't in
stage,
the premiership
still
window.
yes.
Interesting.
Just
Interesting.
Keep Fife. You've got to keep Fife. He's
who would you say just quickly?
unless he
Huh?
wants to leave.
Who's their best player?
I would have thought Brayshaw was pretty key to their hopes at the minute.
No.
He's their blue chip mid.
Nah, how many goals does he kick?
Rory Lobb.
He's leading it at the minute.
That's because Fife's not there. Fife is still unequivocally their best player.
Interesting chat. Let's roll Geelong. Luke Dalhouse.
Of course.
I just delist him.
He doesn't even play. Yeah, he doesn't even play. What are you going to trade him for? Third round?
I'd see if the Marook Footy Club wants him. For nothing.
Yeah, trade him for Daisy Pearce.
So yeah.
I tell you won't get Adrian Dodoro's role with this sort of chat, mate. I tell you, it's not going to happen for you. Gold Coast Suns, Jack Lukosius.
The question I'm asking in all of these is what you can get for him. If Adelaide would give a first for Lukosius.
No. I think no. That's not what I'm asking you to. I'm not asking what can you get for him. I want you to go the other way and say, yes, I will trade him, and then talk about what you would get for him. Or would you say no? He's too key. He's too key. He in Jack Lukosius in this instance, or whoever we're talking about, he's too key to us going forward. I couldn't trade him.
I'd say no.
I wouldn't trade him. No,
unless Port and Crows said 2 first-round picks plus a player.
I agree, you'd have to accept that though. But
you'd
Crows
accept
couldn't.
yeah.
But I think his upside is too high to trade him just yet.
Haven't seen a lot of it.
Haven't seen much.
I think they would live without him, but I'd be asking
try
a fair bit.
Interesting.
Keep these young players. You never know. Diamond in the rough.
Well, I suppose better to have them than not needed. GWS Jacob Hopper. There's a squeeze on.
Yeah, I would.
You need to sign Taranto.
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Because
Harry Perryman has shown in 2 games he's more than capable of filling that hole.
You get something good for Hopper too, I reckon.
A second.
Someone will get you something good.
Yeah.
I reckon you'd probably even scrape a late first.
I reckon pick what's the first, like 1 to 20?
Yeah, well,
You get pick 20.
Call it that. In the broken draft, it's more like 1 to 35.
Pick 22.
Interesting. Hawthorn. Can you guess what I'm going to say?
Tom Mitchell.
I'd say Titch.
Tom Mitchell.
Yeah,
Done.
Trade?
See you later.
It's a nice easy one.
I don't think he's part of their plans at the moment anyway, based on the recent sort of goings on.
Well, he had 29 touches on the weekend and they lost by 70, 60, whatever it was.
Yeah, against Gold Coast too.
Go.
Look, I would say yes.
I might
See you
be
later.
jumping on the Gold Coast bandwagon.
If you can get someone to pay you a first plus a young player, done.
I like that. Melbourne, I'm going to return to a bloke you mentioned beforehand. Sam Wiedemann.
Yeah, see ya.
I would trade him. Yeah.
Yeah, you take him out and they're still going to win the flag.
Surplus to requirements for mine. North.
And again, key forward, someone will pay up big.
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah.
So someone will pay big.
I can see him at Gold Coast, actually. Triple threat with Chol and Casbolt.
Yeah, but
And
King's
King?
coming back.
Nah,
Quadruple threat.
trade
Why
him.
not?
No, trade him. You're in the premiership window.
Not
He
Joel.
needs to rehabilitate. Trade King.
Yep. Oh, come on. Nah, you wouldn't trade King.
Yeah, send him to St Kilda for 2 firsts because they would pay anything to reunite him with his brother.
2 first is not worth that though.
Oh, they'd have that.
2 first and Sam Wiedemann is not worth Ben King. That's actually worse for them. Just give me the 2 first.
North, Jason Horne-Francis.
Well,
You see the chat about this?
No,
in
my
terms
heart
of
would say
like,
no, but do you know what? The body is telling me yes. I think because do you know what? You look at the morale, right? North Melbourne are already a very, very, pardon my French language here, but they are shit. and that's
No, it's okay. Everyone says that every week anyway.
That's the strong French language. But
Jack Silvani said it. Your team's shit.
you look at
I remember him saying
if you're going to swipe it from the ground up, you can't have him stinking up the room. Your best player, you need think about LaMelo Ball at the Hornets. You need that young player that actually wants to that bleeds for the club. Horne-Francis is going to go.
Well,
anyway.
I think he does. From what I've seen of him on field, he
Yeah.
does bleed for the club. He's just because he hasn't re-signed for another 4 years.
Spat
He's
in your arm then.
scumbag.
I think, unfortunately, he actually does bleed for the club as the other 21 blokes on the 20, if you don't include Jack Zeeble, because he actually the same. They're one and the same. They bleed for North Melbourne. They want him to succeed, but the other 20 don't give a shit. They just don't care.
So would you trade him?
The thing is, they've already shown their hand because they basically said we're not going to take 3 first-round picks for him. So what does the team offer now?
2, and you'd be happy.
I don't think North. It's a real difficult one.
But you're the list manager.
No,
You're the new Luffy.
No, I spend more time now trying to convince him that we'll do whatever it takes to
It
keep
just
him.
depends. Yeah.
How much money do you want? Who do you want us to draft? Give him a controlling stake in the club.
LeBron Horne-Francis. Yeah, sure. Port, Carl Amon.
Yep, see ya.
I would.
Yeah.
Get a first. Get a first.
Doesn't even matter.
People want him. It's a bit of hype around it, which is good.
Which is outrageous, but anyway, go on. See ya.
Currency's currency. Richmond, who am I saying?
Say Dusty.
Dusty Martin.
Who else would you even pick?
Sure.
If he wants to leave, yes. If he doesn't want to leave, he can stay.
Depends.
Simple as that. Mate, it's up to him.
I would actually leave that until I see where we're going to finish later on in the year. You don't need to open trade talks until the season's finished. If you make the 8, well,
All right, let's say you finish 7th and you lose in an elimination.
see ya.
Okay.
Sydney would pay up, eh? Sydney would pay up.
I don't think they've got the space to do it, but
But some team would pay up.
some team
And
absolutely
you would
would.
probably still get 2 first rounders for
Tassie.
Dusty.
See, imagine the absolute opposite direction
That'd
where he
be
wants
lit.
to go. It'd be funny as. St Kilda, here's a left field one for you. Paddy Ryder, would you trade him? You're the list manager.
He's retiring.
I don't think anyone would offer anything.
No, keep him.
You saying that?
He's been useful. He's been more useful than what you get back in a trade. What are you going to get? A third?
I know it's a running joke about Geelong having old players, but I think the Segler experiment's been a bust.
I wouldn't take a third for Ryder though. Like, who are you going to get with a third?
Doesn't matter. You
Actually,
just bundle it
no,
up with something.
I would offer him, but I don't think you'd get any bites.
Him and Marshall was good 1-2 punch.
Yeah, but Marshall and Hayes is going to be
Marshall
better
is
going
Marshall
forward.
is better by himself.
I also agree with that too. So you wouldn't bother?
Look, I said I'd offer, but see ya.
He's good for him.
Last three, Sydney, Jake Lloyd.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't like. He's not a part of the cool kids group.
He's on the outer, isn't he?
That's an easy one. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
get rid of him.
And I reckon you get bulk dollar for him.
I think you get
You
a fair
would.
bit too
Yeah,
because he's
absolutely.
well respected. I reckon you get a first, but you think you get players like Lear. When I saw he went for a third, that's why the draft's broken.
He went for a second, but I do agree.
No, it was an early third. Trust. I saw it. I remember. I remember seeing the photo because I was like,
either way,
I remember it. I was clicking.
they got an absolute steal there. Jake Lloyd has to go. They've already shown that they prefer Nick Blakey doing majority of the ball use back there.
That's what I'm saying.
That disparity is only going to get worse, and I don't even know what Jake Lloyd's contract is. Too much to be doing nothing.
Richmond would cream him off the back line with 1-2 punch with Dan Rioli, wouldn't he?
And short.
And jeepers, that's a terrifying half back line at that point. Western Bulldogs, Joshua Dunkerlee. Do you trade him?
My heart says no because I love Dunks and I love him at the Dogs, but yes.
I'd trade him. I would. That is the reason. All of my the other times that I've said trade, literally that's a perfect one. I'd trade him more than
He deserves to be playing full-time midfield.
I agree.
And he cannot get that role there. He absolutely, I would definitely do it. And I reckon you'd probably definitely a first and potentially a little bit more.
A 1 and a 2, I reckon.
There you go. Hey, so we both were right because we got traded for a late second. That turned into a third
there you
because
go.
of Gold Coast.
Hysterical.
Idiots.
Last one, West Coast Eagles. You're the list manager.
I just had a pee.
You shouldn't have done that. You're naughty.
Willie.
Would you trade your man, Andrew Gaff?
I'll let you answer it.
Yeah, but who would want him? Like, who would... I would try to, but
Established
you
midfielder.
have to keep him because who would get him?
I take that term midfielder pretty
You wouldn't
harshly, to be honest with you, mate.
I would want to
wouldn't
trade
call
him,
him
but I'd
that.
have to keep him. That's my answer.
Depth player.
Would you trade him? You're the list manager.
If I'm West Coast, yeah, because I'd see they're in a position now, they need all the draft picks they can get.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone's willing to offer a third, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother.
Someone willing to offer a third for him, though? Like, it's just a waste of space.
Oh, yeah. No, North would send you something silly for him.
Pollock Jr.
Oh, dear. Oh, they'd be great together. There's your Step Brothers remake. Imagine that shit. All right, fellas. I like that. That was nice.
That was good.
A bit of actual football chat for once. Gee whiz.
Even Des joined in.
Yeah,
I like to be able to add my little bit of spice and not
mate,
just nod.
And it was worthy. No, it was good, mate.
And you knew who Jake Lloyd was. I'm impressed.
He did,
Yeah, Big Mo.
He does, yeah.
All right, fellas, let us roll it on to the Saturday twilight game at TIO Stadium back up in Darwin. We've got the Gold Coast Suns squaring off against the North Melbourne Kangaroos. I've got to give it to Des. Look at him. He's itching. He's got...
The Gold Coast Suns, baby. Oh, my goodness me. Honestly, and I love the Crows. I'm a Crows man. There has not been another team that has been more electric that has grabbed my attention besides the Adelaide Crows than the current Gold Coast Suns.
Why?
I just love them. They're just unreal.
You know why.
Leave
it and move on.
No, obviously I'm a big Mabior Chol fan, and just in general, I just enjoy the Suns. Obviously, how can you not enjoy watching Took Miller run around? He's
True.
actually like just the personification of what muscles are, and he just runs around like a tank. That's what I look at. I just think of him.
I actually think
he's a Machamp.
They sort of are everyone's second team in a way, aren't they? Because they've been like so shit for so long.
You want them to be all right.
Like everyone just has a soft spot for them because they're just like, they're harmless. So it's not like a club like Collingwood where they're shit and you just hate them. It's literally like, oh, come on, Gold Coast, do something for once. And now look at them flying.
I've got one note for this week, right? One note, and I'm going to open it and read it.
That is that is
Here's my note.
You see the preparation this man does
Here's
for this
my
show?
note.
Unmatched.
Look, I'm
Unrivaled.
gonna show you the camera, right? All right. That I want you to read it out, and this is my.
You want me to read it,
preparation.
mate?
What does it say?
It says GC.
Yeah, Gold Coast 100+, baby. They can do it.
And the G is backwards, but I understand it says GC.
100 plus.
100 plus as well.
Gold Coast Suns got it easy. They're looking good. Do you know what? The way they have been looking in recent weeks has got me very, very excited. I'm stunning on my words, even more than normal.
So they're winning.
Suns winning easy. North Melbourne bad.
I've got them 40. I've got them 40 plus as well. To be completely
Easy.
honest
How
with you,
much
I look. They're looking at heading into a bye at 6-6.
Good on them.
That is incredible.
And they've had a really, really stiff draw. So and they've stuck it to a couple of the only game that Gold Coast have played this year where you look and go, oh, that was really disappointing, was the Collingwood game.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't remember who they played in round one. They could have been average in that game too. But
chances are they're not, because I mean they're always good at the start of the year.
Typically, yeah.
Just a quick little note on the Roos. That definitely was not their worst performance for the year.
No, they were in there for 2 quarters.
They were somewhat competitive. Jed Anderson, what an absolute beast.
Oh, God.
He was all the way back. 12 tackles. Good grief.
They missed him.
He absolutely loves the contact.
12 tackles. That's what the I think a couple of the Crows players. The Crows forward line only had like 12 tackles or something, didn't they, on the weekend?
Probably.
I remember seeing something like that.
Jed
Weird
Anderson,
stat. Weird. I don't know why I said that.
Zeeble had 10 as well. Like those.
Weird.
Yeah, Zeeble had 10 as well. Those two are just hungry for boys. Jed Anderson, 28 disposals. and a goal.
Rolf Anderson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Rolf Anderson, sure. Yeah. Jimmy Horn Francis.
They had 34 inside 50s again, though.
He's gone
I know.
smacked his head into the desk.
Made himself smarter.
The big...
Knocked some brain cells back into it.
Oh,
they had 34 inside 50s. It's just not enough. You're not winning. You're not winning any footy games like that. So Suns 40 plus, easy money.
It's interesting. People like David King and such have just been saying, just do small things like win the next tackle, win the next contest, kick the next goal, win the next quarter, and it really needs to be as simple as that. They're not at the stage of winning games.
No,
and they've never played.
They've gone backwards.
They've
absolutely gone backwards.
Unfortunately, so yeah. And who could blame Noble if the reports were true of him absolutely cutting sick in the rooms? Who could blame him?
No one.
Who could blame
apart
him?
from the soft ass playing group.
And that tells you why Gold Coast is going to win by however much they want.
Well, I think they will.
Joel, Casbolt, who's going to stop him?
I think, forget those blokes. I'm talking Joel Jeffrey and Malcolm Roses, who just popped up out of nowhere.
Roses. Oh.
And they had about 6 goals between them.
Yep.
His buddies, saucy.
Rankin's put a couple of nice games together.
Yes, just quietly getting about it. And look, the Roos never played up in Darwin before, ever.
No.
Gold Coast undefeated up there.
There you go.
Thanks very much, Mum.
Bets.
I had I got nothing.
Did they play Darwin last week as well?
Yeah, bros.
They got a bit of a connection there, don't they?
They've got a heap of... Yeah, Joel Jeffrey, Malcolm Roses there from up there.
Yeah, good.
It's a few others on the list.
They looked a lot more comfortable, and you can tell when they.
But the climate, like, consider what other place outside of Brisbane would be the closest climate to what they're used to playing in and training in up at Metricon. Exactly. Whereas Arden Streak, soaked to the bone constantly, the shin bone. With rain all the time.
We've genuinely spoken enough about this game.
Yeah, no, I've had a gutful. Let's roll on. Bets. I'm talking Joel Jeffrey and Malcolm Roses anytime goal kickers. Thank you. Matt Rao, 15 touches. He had about 16 on the weekend. Now, I know he's been a disappointment. We call it like we see it. He's been a disappointment so far. But if you can't get 15 against the Roos, quit.
And he had no marks again. How are you going through AFL games and not getting one?
It's very bizarre.
Yeah, you look at the way he started, like away.
No bueno. No, I mean, you've got to get 15 against the Roos. Anderson and McDonald to have 20 disposals apiece for the Roos, who I speak of. Tuke Miller, 30 plus. He hasn't done it the last couple of weeks. It's a bit speculative. But again, soft kill. You got to bounce back into form. And I've also got Bailey Scott listed here as having 15 disposals. He's been just quietly getting about it, doing a little bit of a defensive sort of a role.
Yep.
Got to start somewhere.
Yep.
If you can't win your own peel, at least be defensive.
I didn't
he's
have
not
it
been too bad.
I had a look at Bailey Scott for 20 plus actually. He had 27 and 20 the last 2 weeks.
There you go.
That was paying $1.70 odd. So didn't put it down, but there's value in that.
Interesting.
And I actually had Took for a goal.
Oh, hello.
He's snuck forward for 4 in the last 5 weeks. That's $1.73. And an easy kill where they should score over 100 points, you would think. Probably worth a dabble.
Why the hell not? I don't mind that from you, blood. If I might be so bold.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I might be so bold. Let's wobble on to Saturday night at the MCG, Desmond, where we see the Melbourne Demons, who have come crashing back down to earth.
They've got one of these ones, eh? The old flick on the sack.
They did, with a middle finger directly between two testicles, who are now coming up against the resurgent Sydney Swans.
White hot Sydney Swans.
White hot Sydney Swans. Dan, talk me through it.
Well, AFL media, after the Fremantle Demons game, could not have been more praising of the Fremantle Dockers, and rightly so. Great win for them. They finally figured out the secret to beating the Demons. Have Stephen May knock himself out, give Christian Petrarca the flu before the game, and that's it. Easy done. It's not that easy. It will not happen again. I'm tipping the D's here 1-39. There's way too much talent in that team. Track will be back healthy this week. Obviously, they'll be missing Stephen May. Buddy's going to be out as well. So,
well, regarding Buddy, I'm really glad that Buddy got suspended, got off at the tribunal. We'll just edit that just to whichever one it was. And I'm really glad because that was the right result.
Yep.
It was the right result.
Right result for the game, I imagine.
It was the right result that Buddy got suspended, got off. And I want to see more of it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And James H tagged the life out of Oliver in the second half. Quelled his influence massively. I don't think the Demons are going to let the Swans do the same thing to him.
Can you imagine? I cannot even picture. You think of the spirit that the Demons, they are just a collective team. I almost had a ramble there. Almost had a real ramble, and you would have been looking at me as blank as I was looking at him. But no, they are a collective team. And that's why they're so good. You look at it and go, when the chips are down, they all lift. It's not just one player. And you look at, you have examples where they are standout performances, but everyone's doing their job. And that's what's going to get them over the line this week. That is what's going to get them over the line this week. Swannies are going to be overwhelmed. If teams like Gold Coast can overwhelm Sydney, and that's only recently, far out, an angry Melbourne. They're not going to,
Well, reinforcements are back for them this week. They've got Salem back. They've got Langdon back. They've got Harms back. They've got Tom McDonald back.
Classy teams do not lose 2 in a row the way that... And they didn't end up losing by a little bit either. It wasn't like, it was a short... They lost by 40-odd points, 38 points.
They quite clearly gave up, though. Once the game started getting away from, they just quite... You could see it in their body language. They were like, They
were challenged and didn't like it.
One loss, it doesn't really matter.
But good teams, when they're in that locker
week.
room, when they're getting the spray... Not a spray. They probably didn't get sprayed by Goody. Goody seems like a good bloke. You reckon he gives a spray?
I
reckon he'd be known, but it would be
like,
more...
you want one of these beers? Bang, snorkel on.
It'd be a stern but fair approach.
I reckon, yeah.
The thing is, like I said, Track had the flu. He woke up with the flu that morning, soldiered on and played anyway. If you start tagging Clayton Oliver, Christian Petrarca will just take over. That could not happen in this game. It was not going to... Jack Viney, Tom Sparrow, they're not going to...
No.
They're not going to turn a game on its head. So when Track moves back into the middle this week, the Swans are going to struggle big time.
I think so.
Obviously, masterstroke from Horse last week, putting Callum Mills as the sweeper.
Well, yeah.
That's what won them the game in the end.
And they'll do it again.
But do you think they will, or do you think they'll start Mills in the middle, and if things start getting a bit hairy, they'll move him back?
I think that's exactly what they do. I think that's what do you reckon?
I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
I genuinely think, I can sum this one up. I'd love to talk about Melbourne and Sydney all day long, but I really, in terms of this game, Swans, credit to them, showed a lot of grit when they dug themselves out of, a 30-point hole and managed to win. That doesn't happen 2 weeks in a row. Similarly, this Melbourne team, as you just said beforehand, is not bad enough that it's going to lose 2 on the trot.
Nope.
And not at the MCG neither.
Nope. No
I don't see those two. I don't see those things happening. It could happen. Anything could happen. Ellie Goulding, eat your heart out. I don't think it's happening this week. Melbourne 1-39.
And especially if Buddy gets suspended, you can edit that out as well, right?
No, he did get suspended, get off. And so he will not be playing this week.
But
sure,
if that is the case, Logan McDonald is not going to kick a winning bag by himself. Isaac Heaney has been struggling badly the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but the smear is back in.
So?
The smear. Him back.
Anyway, D's 1-39.
D's 1-39?
I've got a prediction.
Oh.
But it's in the form of a traditional Japanese haiku poem.
I don't want to hear it.
No, I don't mind him. I still like him.
Are we ready?
Yeah, please.
At least he's not doing it about one of the worst teams in the league this week. Bit of a change of pace. I like it from you, Des.
Melbourne Demons. Lost. For the first time. OMG. D's by 40. Mad.
Well, what's the mad mean?
Because Damon's going to be mad. going to be angry little devils, and they're going to run over the top.
All right, fair.
Do you like that one this week?
Yeah, I did actually.
Melbourne.
I didn't go for funny. I went for
No,
dramatic.
Dead serious.
And it was also, I like the fact he started out saying Melbourne Demons was, I think, the first 2 words of your haiku. And then the last word was mad with M and D in it. So that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, he's artistic. Artistic Des.
Oh, I can
Instead
think
of
a word.
autistic
I can think of, I was
Des.
gonna say, I can think of a word that rhymes with that.
Oh, let's talk a few bets. What do you got there, Dan?
Now, I did say Logan McDonald's not going to kick a bag by himself, but I think he will.
I've got him down for 5.
I think he will kick one. That's $1.45. William Hayward for a goal.
Every week.
Do you reckon he kick one on the weekend, Des?
I watched him.
He absolutely did kick another one on the
watched
weekend.
him.
That's $1.51 this week.
And that's pretty much...
That is disrespectful.
There's something like 8 games in a row in which he's kicked a goal.
He's my guy.
Mm.
And I'll keep saying it until they put some respect on his name. And Ollie Florent for 15 plus disposals. He's actually playing off the halfback this year, and he's doing 15 disposals quite regularly. That's $1.40.
I don't mind that. What do you think?
It's scramble time.
No, it's not. I would also like to talk about...
Almost did a sneaky.
Nah, you
there'll
didn't.
be none of that shit. around
Little
here,
sneaky
bros.
sneakers.
Justin McInerney. Bit up at the start of the year, bit down at the start of the year. Starting to settle. I like it. 15 disposals for Mr. Justin McInerney. Thank you very much. Age 21. Jack Viney, 28 touches. I reckon he got a bit of the scent of blood in the nostrils last week, and I think he's going to similarly come out on the big stage.
Correct.
And go crack. Chad Warner had what, like 28?
He's good.
Oh, is he? I love him. I genuinely love.
I love how.
Could you imagine if they almost paid that 50 and Richmond won?
But his last minute 30 was some of the most incredible up and down football you've ever seen. I don't know if you saw his big run down the wing that he chased down the footy, sprinted end to end to get the ball out of bounds. Desperation personified. Then went back down the other end and almost gave the game away.
Interesting. And I'm glad that the right result happened. That was the wrong result. Yeah, no, sure. Yeah. We talk about that for days as well. No, McInerney 15, Viney 20, Chad Warner 20, Luke Parker 25 in the middle there. Clary Oliver for 30 disposals, thank you. And I stole your bloke, Will Hayward. I couldn't not put him in at those odds for an anytime goal. And all of that together was, I don't know what that was paying. My screenshot's cut out. It actually would be paying a little bit. It'd cover you.
Let's get this over and done with.
No, I'd like to see what the official run sheet says. It says it's time for Desmond Scramble.
I know.
All right. I've split the scramble into 3 today. So I've got a little bit of word association. I've got some questions, and they're actually pretty good questions. They're not stupid questions, because at the end I'm going to have a freestyle. I don't even know what I'm going to say. We literally could be sitting here, and it could be awkward. It could be messy. But I'm going to try it just for the fans, because
the boys in the lab won't be happy if they have to edit out your inadvertent racisms, sexisms, transgenderisms, or any other isms that might be in there. I'm just saying.
You said inadvertent or
there's no
advertent.
I said
intentional.
inadvertent.
There's no isms. There is no isms, only orgisms. All right, scramble time. Which player most resembles a frog?
Who you talking
Richie?
to? Oh.
So when you think of, the word association, so frog. You think of
Jake Bowie.
ribbit.
Yeah.
A fly.
Most resembles a fly.
Yeah. Don't look at me.
I mean, I would have said it if we can say past players. Dylan Buckley.
That's very good. That's very good.
A chrysalis.
Got the eyes a little way apart.
A chrysalis?
Yeah.
What's a chrysalis, Desmond?
Isn't that what, like, the caterpillars?
What do you mean, isn't it what?
Isn't it?
What is it?
In the middle
You tell us. You asked the
in the middle of a
question.
caterpillar and a butterfly. Who's about to be a beautiful butterfly?
Oh, a metapod. Okay.
More of a cocoon man myself.
In between. Oh, Jackson Haitley.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. About to be a beautiful Charizard. All right. All right. Last one. Dung beetle.
Who most resembles a dung beetle? That is just Matt Rowell at the moment, though.
Oh, rough.
On
Collecting
form,
crap.
not on appearance.
No, on form.
I got 2 questions here. They're actually relatively bad, like not bad questions. I'll ask you first, Richie. 100-metre sprint. Don Pike, Matty Nix.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
That's actually a good one.
Because I reckon Don's carrying less. I reckon Don's got less on the back than what Matty Nix does.
And I said this, do you know what? Don Pike made me think this because he has been doing sprints with the forward line group. I saw a video on Instagram. Donny Pike was in there, and he actually looked a little bit zippy. And I think Matty Nix can run a good 100 as well.
So what did you see him run? Did you see him do
15 metres.
Well, see, there you go. He
Elite.
might be like a crocodile. He might be lethal over 20 metres and then just absolutely gassed.
But it's good to
after
see
that.
that he's in there with the forward. It's just that's what made me think of it. I just thought if you lined them up.
I think Nixie's younger, and I'm just going to go with the younger body.
I'd also say Nixie would have some input from Darren Burgess, and I reckon if we're talking training for it or just right now,
Straight away, bang.
I still think he would have taken some stuff away from Darren Burgess.
I think so. Got
it back in the experts.
All right. You can both answer this if you want. I can't even think of the answer to this, but who would win in a 100 chin-up contest? So whoever can do the 100 chin-ups faster, Heath Shaw or Mitch Robbie?
Of the slob.
It would have to be Slobson.
In their prime, mate?
Yeah.
Like, Heath Shaw in his prime, not retired.
No, I still maintain the slob, and he'd be yelling as he does each one.
Yeah.
Heath Shaw would
everyone.
hate it though, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He'd hate losing like that.
Heath Shaw famously hated any sort of
Exercise.
pre-season exercise. Like, just not a fan of it.
No.
Real throwback type operator.
And I'm a big fan.
All right, give me
Is that
1
it?
second. I just got to think. I'm about to freestyle. All right, you can both answer this.
Okay.
All right. Which AFL player enjoys sitting in an Audi trolley after inserting $1, drinking a nice cup of chamomile tea? Who enjoys sitting in the Audi trolley?
Dusty Moore.
Chamomile tea.
Why though?
Chamomile tea.
I read an article about him the other day.
Yeah.
Interesting bloke.
What, he goes-
He enjoys sitting in Audi trolleys sipping chamomile.
That was the headline, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
I don't think it'd be Darcy Moore.
No, it's more of a Brody Grundy manoeuvre, isn't it?
Yeah.
He
Weird.
wouldn't fit.
It's a big trolley.
It's the tea that
They
throws
bigger.
me.
That's where
Because sitting in a trolley is like a bit of a bogan type operator. You'd think
Yeah.
someone beer in hand, but a chamomile tea.
That's why I was thinking Grundy, because immediately when you said that, for some reason, I got a flashback to when he walked out of the Holden Centre like a few years back and there was press there. And he put on a high-vis jacket and got on one of those little Vespa scooters, like the Faggio from Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah.
and just zipped off down the street. And the
Yeah.
reporters looking at him like, what's going on? He said, that seems like a chamomile slash...
Just to throw a random name out there.
Hit me.
Connor Butterick. Why not?
Will Brody.
Who does he play for?
He plays for the Butt Club.
Oh, what an expert. Oh, jeez.
You should know. He plays for your favourite team.
The Suns.
The Butt Club.
The Butt Club.
No, he plays for the Suns.
No, you
You,
didn't.
I
You
tell you.
absolutely did
I
not.
was going to say Hawthorn.
Every week, when I think you've scraped the bottom of the barrel, you just drill a hole in it and keep tunneling.
Butt Club.
See, that's your mistake though, for thinking you can't go lower. That's on you, really, not
I
him.
know. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let us move it on, fellas. We've got 2 games left of the round. It is Sunday afternoon at the MCG. We've got the old foes, the time-honoured. Get away from me, you fucking pest. Those time-honoured enemies of Hawthorn Hawks and Collingwood Magpies. Jesus, you're mentally disabled. You're physically. It's very clear. No, it's the Hawthorn Hawks and the Collingwood Magpies squaring off at the MCG, the home of football, fellas. Just some quick stats just to get this one rolling for you, just to chew on, just to salivate on.
Go.
4 of the last 5 of these outings have been won by the Hawks. Very interesting. It is. And that's the only stat I've got for you.
Look,
That's good stuff.
I'm
I was
gonna
happy with that.
just to follow up on that. I'm gonna tip the Pies 1-39, but I was genuinely very close to tipping Hawthorn here.
Why?
I just feel like it's one of those games like they've just had an absolute stinker, and they'll turn it around and have a great game.
But will they be suffering from travelling back from Darwin and we just lost to the Suns itis?
I think it's the Darwin factor because we looked at.
I think they'll have enjoyed a week in their own beds again, though, fully rested. Look, it's just a feeling. I'm tipping the Pies. You got to go with the form. You absolutely have to go with the form. But I just feel like what we've seen from Hawthorn this year is like this.
I think
Some weeks they're great, other weeks they're terrible, and they're probably due a good performance.
I think there'd be more of an
Why
argument.
not?
I think there'd be more of an argument if Collingwood ended up getting dusted in the end, but they didn't. They're going to be riding high from that win. Just think about the.
But will they be knackered?
When you played that?
They got pushed to their limit.
Yeah, but-
and they really only won that game because Jacob Wiedering went down.
But aren't
And because
Hawthorn-
Silvani missed at the end.
yeah, of course. But
And the umpires missed a Sam Walsh high tackle.
the last 5 minutes, the last 5
Again.
minutes, they were ahead by like what? 3 goals, 4 goals. Like if they lost it, it would have been in the last 5. It wasn't like they were losing the whole game and they snuck a win. Like they deserve to win. They just lucky enough to sneak out that dub. But
They got to take confidence away. Beating Carlton in their current form is big no matter what.
But realistically, I can't get past what you said. If Wiedering plays that game out, Carlton win that game.
But they didn't, and that's why I think Collingwood will be riding high, and they're going to dust the Hawks.
But you can't rely on that. This is going to be a reasonably close game, and I wouldn't be surprised if either team won. I've gone Collingwood 1-39. I just think the Pies mids are probably a bit more experienced, a bit classier.
Yep.
Sneaky win. I was happy to see it.
Oh yeah, good on them. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what happens in this game, though. Like I said, Wiedering was dominating pretty early. I think Sicily will play a massive role
and
if Hawthorn is to win.
It's going to be
I've got here, they need to find Jath some easy touches. He's really struggling to find the pill at the moment. 13 disposals last week, and they really need his run to create any sort of attacking momentum.
Just sit him down in front of some old Andrew McLeod tapes. That's his role, as I see it.
Just get the ball in his hands in any way, shape, or form,
and let him go for a load.
Even if it's cheapies round the back or whatever. Just give him some easy early touches to let him find his groove. On the Pie side of thing, Darcy Cameron is just an absolute monster.
Oh, baby, is he?
Just an absolute monster. I don't know if you saw any of the game. Been playing second fiddle to Grundy for 2 years now. Stepped into the main role, and he is just absolutely lording it. Even Mason Cox looked all right.
He did, yeah.
You look at it and go, when Grundy comes back, it's going to be a bit of a...
There's a squeeze there at the
moment.
It's
a bit awkward.
It's good, isn't it?
Because you honestly cannot turn around to Darcy Cameron and say, yeah, sorry, mate, no good,
do you trade Grundy? I'd seriously entertain that, and I know that's a bit how you're going to say it, but I would seriously entertain
Get all the money off the books. You can keep Jordan De Goey that way, no problems, and you've got
trade them both.
And you've got a great ruckman there waiting, and you probably get a couple of firsts for Brodie Grundy.
I think you would. I think you get two.
But anyway,
Pies?
I've got Pies. Just whether they can sustain that performance from the weekend into another week.
Toss up. Very big toss up. You bang on. It's too much of this. Up and down. Both teams, whoever's up, will get the dub. Almost rhymed. Do you have another haiku this week?
I can do one quickly if you want.
No, you can't force art.
Force it. No.
You can't force art. No. See, what you've got is not replicatable.
No, you can't.
How long did it take me to come up with the other haiku?
I don't know. I can only assume you were working all week because you prepare for these shows.
17 hours.
I'm not letting you do it on the spot, irrespective.
I agree.
They're treasured.
Mate. They are. And what is equally...
Oh, come on now. Smacking that one.
You are correct as well.
He's hit the nail on the head there. Let's talk bets. I've got Josh Dacos for 20, Pat Lipinski for 20, James Sicily for 20. Disposals, that is.
Hungry.
Disposals, that is. Harry Morrison for 15 disposals. He had a lovely little game on the weekend. I really like that for him.
Good on him.
Jack Crisp for 25. I think he had 27 last week, and I think he's only dropped under 25 like twice this season or something along those lines.
Easy money in this game too.
Dylan Moore and everybody's favourite Jordan De Goey for an anytime goal.
I don't know if you saw the Herald Sun article about the All-Australian team today.
I did not know.
Dylan Moore did not make the squad. The half forward flankers.
Who was in?
Patrick Cripps, who has spent precisely 0 minutes on the half forward flank this year.
He's done more to earn a spot in the ruck in the All-Australian team than he has on the half forward flank.
And Christian Petrarca on the other half forward flank, who's played precisely 0 minutes on the half forward flank this year.
Who made this article? Who wrote this?
I have to go back and check because I just looked at that and I thought you are not going to sit there and tell me that Dylan Moore does not deserve a spot in this team in any shape or form, not even on the bench.
So we are doing Dummy of the Week then. Whoever made that All-Australian team in the Herald Sun, morons.
DOTW.
Yep. Anyway, Jamie Elliott for a goal, big jelly. I had De Goey for 20 plus disposals. I can't remember if he said that. And
I said a goal now.
And Jimpy for 20 plus disposals.
Oh, I like that.
That's $2.03 at the moment.
That's delicious for mine. Not too bad. Do you have anything to add? No, he shook his head. If you're listening at home on the podcast, and we love your work, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the bonus content.
You're shaking your head, and people at home are nodding their head in thanks and praise.
Thanks and praise.
That's what they were saying after the haiku.
Big T's and P's.
Oh, God above. All right, last one. Last game of the round. We're going to have to wrap this up because mental case here has really fallen off the branch.
Fantastic game.
At Optus Stadium, again. Woo. Could be match of the round. It's right up there. It is the Fremantle Dockers who are hosting the Brisbane Lions at Optus Stadium. Now, on the one hand, Des, do you get enamoured with Freo going to the G? They're one game of the G this year.
Wrong, by the way. That's just wrong.
I've got that wrong?
No. It's wrong that they only get one game there.
Strongly agree.
Yep.
Do you get frothy in the pantaloons for Freo going to the G, one game of the year, versus the Premiers, knocking them off? Or do you get a little bit fizzy in the proctological department for Brisbane, who the last time they played Freo at Optus, which was last year, they won by 60 points, and they've won their last 3 in a row against the Dockers.
Do you smell that? There is some froth. there is some froth in this broth. Freo, hee-ho. They've rolled the Ds. And they rolled the Ds and they rolled them hard. Ooh, Freo, hee-ho, the purple haze. Mm-hmm. They're not losing this game. They are not losing this game. Brisbane, they're going to come home. I don't think Brisbane have looked as good as what they can. I don't want to disrespect them because they have played some good football. But I think they can look better. And I think it's going to take them, this loss to Freo, to sit down because they clearly are number 2. They're the clear number 2. I don't care. They can lose this game and you can at me. I don't care. Clearly number 2 best team in the league to Melbourne. I think Freo are going to roll them. I think this is going to be their turnover. This is going to make them mad. Imagine them going to Perth. Imagine that plane ride home with Fags. They won't be having any cocktails on that plane.
You see, the last few weeks,
we're getting the cocktails smacked out their hands. Fake elbow drop them.
Prior to the game on the weekend, I would have agreed with you that they were clearly the second best team in the league. Mm-hmm. The last couple of weeks have not endeared Brisbane to me whatsoever. This is round 12. They played 2 teams in the top 8 so far, and that's Brisbane, and that's the Dogs and the Cats. They've had a very, very, very easy run at it
thus far.
They got 30 points down against the Giants on the weekend. Came out looking like absolute shizen.
Horrible.
Lucky to come home with it.
Exactly. They were rightly so, and that's what I mean. I'm not.
Well, I say lucky. A Neil masterclass did it.
Brisbane are a very, very, very good football team. Clear second. Don't know. I'm actually going to tip Dockers here.
I'm tipping the Dockers. Yeah. I think this is what's going to shake it up for Brisbane, and they're going to.
I think what Fremantle just did to the Dockers, I think they will try and replicate exactly again on the weekend.
I think they can.
They'll send
big spirit,
they'll send Griffin.
Big heart.
They'll send Griffin Logue forward, probably playing a bit of a defensive role on Harris Andrews. Mm-hmm. They will tag Lockie Neal with James Aish, and they will make Brisbane earn a win. And I don't think Brisbane's going to be good enough to do it. I
am hearing everything you're saying, and I'm inclined to agree. I honestly think that mature teams don't just knock off someone on the ladder of the D's ilk and then not back it up the next week. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a far more mature Dockers team than what we've seen for some time. Mm-hmm. They're still young, yes, but I genuinely think they've got that maturity to back it up on their home deck. I honestly think they get the win over Brisbane.
I was not that high on Freo. You remember I was bagging them a bit last week. I was bagging them. They've won me over. They have re-won me over. How can they not? How can you not put some respect on their name now? It doesn't matter if people went down and track was sick. They still won. They still went out and smashed them.
The big problem with Freo at the moment is they're clearly a completely different football team in wet weather. And if it's wet
have a look
Perth
now
on Sunday.
Have a look now. Perth weather now.
You'd probably then start leaning back towards Brisbane because there's clearly a disparity between which team they are in the wet and in the dry, and they play the same brand of footy in both. Yep. And you cannot play
4:00.
You cannot play quick, fast footy in the wet weather.
What are we talking? Sunshine, lollipops.
Overcast.
Ooh. Overcast doesn't mean rain.
I'm still going to tip. I'm still going to tip Freo.
It's only raining on Tuesday. And today is Tuesday.
I'm on Freo. Beautiful.
Heave-ho.
3 from 3.
The purple haze.
Ho, baby. Go Chol.
LFG. Let's talk bets. What do you got?
I have Cam Rayner for a goal.
Yeah, okay.
He actually genuinely looked fantastic on the weekend. That was the best game he's played at AFL level for a few years now. Jordan Clark for 20-plus disposals.
Yeah, good.
He's been a linchpin for Freo's goal movement on the.
So nice to see too, because you watched him at the Cats.
He got disrespected. He got disrespected hard, and I'm so glad that because he's always been a good footballer. He's always had the attributes, and they're getting used. So 20+, that's $1.52.
Yeah, it's massive.
Done it in the last 5 games in a row. That's very good value. And big Long Dong Sarong, 25+ disposals.
LDS baby,
$1.50.
That's big.
Because I think they will rely on him and Brayshaw to do the bulk of the lifting again. Mm-hmm. Goes without saying.
I don't mind it. I went silly for this game. I went real silly.
Good.
I started looking at stats and I started putting things together, and the numbers just kept going up. Mm-hmm. So hold on to your hats because this is a big one. Brayshaw 25. Mm-hmm. Will Brodie 25.
Mm-hmm. That's a big mama.
Jordan Clark 20 disposals, as you said.
Yeah.
What'd you say? I
said, God, he's good. Will Brodie.
He's great. He's unbelievable.
I thought you said something else then.
Clark and Hayden Young for 20 disposals each. Young just very quietly. Check out his stat line. Doing real nicely back there.
Desmond.
Zach Bailey 15+.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Zach
Bailey 15+.
Yep.
Zach Bailey an anytime goal.
Yep.
Lincoln McCarthy anytime goal.
Stinky pig.
Dan McStay anytime goal. And the real speculator Kadeen Coleman for 15
High five.
disposals.
Yeah. I
Kitty.
stole it.
What, Kitty Coleman? What
No,
are
I
you on
stole
about?
high five.
Oh, that's fine. You're welcome to have it. You can have as many as you want. Kitty Coleman, 15, and he's had, I think, something like 16. He had like 23 the week before. He's, I think 4 of his last 5, he's hit that. That's 8 legs. Now, I like all of them. You can take them individually, do what you want with them, ignore them, whatever you want to do. But if you were to put them all together in some sort of betting app and you were to hit the boost,
25?
what do you reckon?
Can I look first?
No, you go on.
No, I reckon what? 35.
35 without the boost.
Oh.
$43 multi
Love it.
for 8 legs on that.
Big one to end the weekend.
Look at that bad man there.
Far out.
That's rude, isn't it?
Can confirm you can't see the 35 on here.
No, because I got the boost on. Got the boost on.
So I
brother.
couldn't check.
Got the boost on.
Hey, do you reckon Coleman would be better if his last name was Cholman?
And on that happy note of intellect and wisdom, thank you very much for joining us for yet
Go the
another
Suns.
ripping show. Like and subscribe, please. Tell your mates. We're trying to boost the subs. We charge no money. We just do it for the bands. But
If you subscribe, I'll get my nipples out.
we'd love a sub. We'd love a view. We'd love a comment. Tell your mates. All the best.
Only fans.
Only fans. Jeepers. We'll see you next week. Take care, punters.